It's Kringle Time. Sit back and relax as we dive into a world of laughter and learning with the Kringle Brothers, reminding us that we are better together.
Hey, where did you go?
And welcome to Kringle Time, everyone. It's good.
Hello.
Good to see you too. I hit the button, but I guess I didn't hit it strong enough. And yes, still a learning curve with the software, I guess.
Well, you know what? As long as we're having fun, that's all that matters. So, Michael, how was your week this week?
It was really, it was so much fun to get back in the groove of performing again.
I know you've had a couple of Christmas in July events already. You did a couple.
Yeah, I had two campgrounds that I did. One was a Santa substitute. Called me up. What are you doing? Not feeling well, and I helped out a brother, and he's still recovering. And so remember to pray for him if you.
Oh, definitely.
But I had two campgrounds. Oh, what else did I do? I did a splash water park.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Because then I wore my Santa bathing suit and everything, But and then in the midst of it, so I've got one more thing I'm going to share. But what did you share? How's your week going? What have you been doing?
Still working on my house here, trying to get everything set up. But I'm actually preparing because tomorrow I'm going out to a daycare center for Christmas in July with a few people, and that should be a lot of fun. And then Saturday, I'm in Sandusky, Ohio at Great Wolf Lodge.
Nice.
And then, of course, I'm throwing out the first pitch for the Detroit Tigers game.
Nice.
On Sunday. So I have a very busy weekend among doing a bunch of other stuff.
We should have got together and played catch. I wish we were closer that we could both practice.
Trust me, if we could throw the ball between us from the distance we are right now, we would be starting in the major leagues right now.
We would be out center field big time, wouldn't we?
But you had some very good.
Phil is on, and Rich is on, and Tom is on. Vern is on, and David's on, and look there's Bruce Norrid. I bet he's tired. All you guys from SOS, I hope you had a great time.
It looks so much fun. You watched some of the videos from it?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my goodness.
And then listening to Lee Andrews is phenomenal. He always makes me laugh, and he's got some great insights and wisdom,
Yes, he does. Now, your family's had some wonderful news this past week. What's happened there?
Well, I'll say this. This would be fun. A shout out. Happy birthday to my princess, my number one elf, my oldest, right? I won't tell you how old she turned. That she wouldn't like that, but it makes
12.
It makes me feel older. But she's in the Wounded Warrior Games in Colorado. Right. And her birthday was just the other day, you know what I mean? So she's been competing in events, and so her first event that she competed in was powerlifting. And she, what's cool with it is it got a silver, with all the branches of the military. She got a silver, but she did her personal best and just squeaked out. So it's like, I was just so proud of her, right? And I knew, and she'd been working so hard at that, And then she did cycling the next day. She was in a short sprint race, like 100 meter or dash, guys would run, so she was in a sprint race and she took gold. And
Wow.
what's great about that is that was also she knocked off, I think, was it 6 seconds from her best time, 4 seconds. So it was another personal best. So she's massive energy. And then she competed in her Papa's event on her birthday,
See,
right?
now
And
that's a
so
great gift.
she did the shot put. Now in the shot put, because of the disabilities, they sit in a chair when they do it, and they tie it in, and there's all of this. I'm trying to remember the exact name. I forget, but they modified the event because of what happened with the Warriors for the veterans and stuff, right? So she's in, and she did another personal best, and she got a gold.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so she's competing Saturday, in her swimming events, so she's got a couple days to rest. But what's cool is, she calls me, she said, Dad, don't do any of the pictures I've sent you, don't print them, I'm making a collage thing for you, and I want to give you my gold medal for shot put, since you were a shot putter and you've helped, and I've helped her out some with technique, not as much as her coach, but like any papa, come on girl, so it was just so awesome. And we were talking earlier, about competing in varsity letters in high school,
Hmm.
which, you said, go ahead and share this story. So I'll share it with you. In other words, it was one of those, yes, I was a shot putter, in school, but what are you going to do for 4 years when the kid on your team is the state champion every year? Right.
Keep
So I
going.
was throwing 42, 43 on, I mean, when I'm throwing decent for the shot put, right? But he would get up there first through 52, boom, and then he'd be done. He wouldn't even throw again. Right. And so it was always me competing for second place. So I never, ever took a first place because you got the state champ on your team. Right. So now varsity letters were based on, so many points for first place, so many points for a second, so many points for third, like 1 point for third, which means I never got a first because you're competing with the state champ. Right. So forget about that, getting the points of getting your varsity letter easily. So it comes towards the end of the season and I need 1 point, just one. I need a third place, but my shot put and discus are done. What am I going to do? I want to get a varsity letter. So I got an idea, since we're talking improv, right? I got an idea. We had 1 miler, and the team that we're running against that day only had 1 one person who ran the mile also. So my mind's going, I could run the mile and I'd be guaranteed a point. So I'm standing over there where the guy who shoots the gun. And just before he shoots, I looked at him and I said, can I run if I want? He looked at me and he went, almost, I'm ready for him to start laughing at me, right? He goes, sure. So I step on the track, like the coach, what are you doing? Boom, he shoots the gun and I take off, right? Of course, behind those two, I'm just running, having a good old time. I go, all I have to do is get around this track 4 times, right?
That's it.
So of course, I get lapped by them. It was a lap and a half or more, probably a lap and 3/4 a lap, right? But I'm running. I'm having a good old time. And then they lap me, they finish the race, and I finally come across the line, but I still had one more lap to go. So I take off. I've got the whole track to myself. Everybody in the auditoriums, stadiums watching me, right? And I get down to that last 440, that last half, and and the crowd starts to chant and scream. I was like, oh my gosh, they're yelling for me. I'm not used to this, right? So I pick up my speed. I'm running a little bit faster, right? And I'm running as fast as I can. I cross that line. my chest, I've always been a chubby boy, always. And my chest is, I go off to the grass on the side. I start hurling. I'm throwing up. The crowd has a great show. The crowd goes ballistic. But I got my varsity letter.
That's all that mattered. Doesn't mean it has to be pretty. You earned the letter.
I got my point. Man, did I work for that point.
But you brought up a very good point here. Is you saw an opportunity and without thinking about it, you
Well, thinking
basically,
was right. I did not think if I could do it or not. I just gave it a shot.
and that's what improvisation is all about. It's it's a
Really?
yeah, it's you know, oftentimes when we go out and we're talking to other Christmas performers,
Yeah.
we are always asked, how can you two just work so well together? It's as if you guys have been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years. And the reason is,
Excuse me. I got choked all up
I know
thinking
you,
about all that
I would have
running. I'm
too.
getting into it again. I better get a drink. Go ahead. So, the two of you have been for there for years.
But what I'm trying to say is, I just did that again. What I'm trying to say is that
It's
when
like
you are actually
squirrel.
working with improvisation, there are only a few guidelines. I don't like to call them rules because when you have rules, that's what people abide by. And rules are meant to be broken. But there
Well,
are a few foundational points that we do have to talk about. What do you want to say?
well, I just the same way as jazz. I love
Hmm.
listening to jazz. In other words, it's like there's all of these musical rules, and you have to know them so well that jazz players can break them.
Right.
You know, and so you know those rules, or what would Pirates of the Caribbean, parlay. It's just guidelines. Yeah.
Hey, but and that's pretty much what these are. Now, when you go and do research and you start looking at different sources, you'll always see a consistent terminology, the yes and statement.
Yes.
And when that just simply breaks down to you basically agreeing to what your scene partner is saying, whether it's a Mrs. Claus, an elf, or even the child or the family that you're having contact with, you they say you always say yes and then you add to the scene to keep the scene going.
Right.
But even a negative response done correctly can also keep the scene going as well too. So instead of always agreeing with it, you have to look at your response is to accept what the individual is saying and add something to it and volley that back to your partner so they can play off of it. And that's pretty much what the yes and statement does. And that's one of the key foundational points for improvisation.
Cool. So this weekend when I was at the splash pad, I should say a couple days ago, when a child asked me, Santa, do you like to swim? And I go, well, of course I love to swim. I love to come to Michigan to swim, because the water in the North Pole is really hard.
Oh, yeah.
And so all of a sudden there's this pause, and I'm like pausing, like, you get it? And then a mom goes, ice. Yes, that's right. So yeah, all right. So
I would have came up with something and would have said, Santa, do you like to swim? Oh, I enjoy swimming, but I don't do it much at the North Pole. Do you know why? There's too many polar bears.
oh, the polar bears stop you.
And so, but again, though, is the key is with this is to basically never shut down an idea. It's to add to it, to agree to it, and then to basically serve it up more.
So
Um,
how do you know how long to keep it going?
you could keep it going as long as there's basically good quality uh, back and forth.
Right. Okay.
And with this could actually then also help you create your backstories. It can also help you create those memories that every child wants to keep and every family wants to bolster to keep that Christmas spirit alive.
Right.
One of the worst things that anybody has ever said to me, and after going to the various schools and talking to various Santa mentors and instructors, is the phrase, it's Christmas magic. I much rather have a tooth pulled than use the Christmas magic line for any question a child answers or asks.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Because
I mean, it doesn't mean magic's wrong,
no,
you know.
but you're Santa, you're Mrs. Claus, you're an elf, or you're even the big green guy. And I don't mean the Incredible Hulk. The point is, you're supposed to be the foremost expert on all of this,
Yeah.
and you're supposed to know. And for you to actually just say it's Christmas magic is a little bit of a cop out. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I think it can be. It depends on the question. You know what I mean? Like anything
True.
else, is if I think if you're relying on that and you're saying it a lot, then I say yes. You know,
Hmm.
but if it's just a one or a two kind of thing where it is and you let it sit there or you explain it a little bit more, then I would say no. So it's just one of those yes and you
No, no.
know, it's so I mean, it's one of those you can't rely on it constantly saying, "Oh, it's magic, it's magic, it's magic." And then because then I think that they're smart enough that they'll come back and they go prove it,
Right.
you know.
Right. And again, that's where the fun comes into is when we actually start playing with all this stuff about Christmas performance. The second element that is a foundational guideline for improvisation is being truthful. We all know children now, they have computers in their hands on their phone, and you can get fact checked any given time. So the best thing is to be truthful, be honest, and don't go so far out in left field that you can't come back. And that's basically is too is tone down some of your responses to make them a little bit more realistic.
Yes. And then to answer Sue's question really quick, yes, Sue, I've been at campgrounds and hay rides with Santa. Um,
Pools.
I've been pools. Yes, Santa's been out in the sun a little bit longer than normal.
When you have North Pole skin as fair as we do, yes, a little bit time in the sun will make you red in a heartbeat. I like to call it Santa Strawberry.
Santa's I love strawberry jam, especially on a good English muffin.
now,
Well,
now,
you said, I say, I went your improv there. I said, and then
yes,
I added a little bit
yeah,
more.
exactly.
All right.
You like the strawberry jam. Well, then you know what we need to do. We need to go away to Willy Wonka's cabinet because you know the snowsberries taste like snowsberries.
What were your favorite games as a child?
Oh no, most of mine were so action packed.
So you were an athlete. We made the comment we were talking about that earlier. So, but even in there, I mean, do you remember doing make believe stuff at all when
Oh,
you were
we would have all kinds of fun stuff. In my backyard, we had a crabapple tree, and I had the largest backyard among all my friends in the neighborhood. So what we'd actually end up doing is getting like trash can lids and baseball bats, and basically throw apples at each other and try to block it. And if any part of the apple hits your body part, you
young?
can
Right.
no longer use that body part.
It was like, thou shalt not pass. You know?
No, it's the Black Knight from Monty Python. Oh, it's just but a flesh wound.
Oh, you're trying to gum me to death. I'll gum you. Yeah. All right. So,
But those were some of the games that we ended up playing. In fact, like every 4th of July, everybody would spend a night at my house and we'd actually play war games, throwing water balloons at each other in the middle of the night while everybody was wearing camouflage and grease paint and everything else like that.
and I guess I say that question to you, or ask that question to you is because I see that as a foundation piece for myself.
Hmm.
In other words, all right, where did I, as a child, learning to play and make believe, I'll never forget in 5th grade, I always wanted to speak another language. So I'm out on the playground and I made a comment, oh, I can speak another language.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? How you say things as a kid. And then it was like I got called out on it. So I just started doing gibberish.
Yep.
And then there was another girl, I remember listening, and it was like, oh, I'm making this up. And she started making it up with me. So we acted like
Hmm.
this conversation going on between the two of us. And so the kid that asked the question went, oh, that's cool, and walked away. It made him believe it. My mind's going, I looked at her and was like, thanks. That was really kind of fun. And I remember we took like a whole week where we go out on the playground and her and I would just do gibberish back and forth, and the other kids going, oh, we're just talking,
That right there is one of my favorite improv games to play.
Oh,
And the
gibberish?
reason, oh yeah, gibberish, because there's so many different ways that you can do it. You can actually do what they call translator. And you can have one person actually speaking gibberish, and the other person has to actually translate the gibberish into basically English.
Oh, that would be
But
fun.
But one of the perks of that game is not only is it just your voice speaking gibberish, but it's inflection of your voice. It's the emotion. It's the body language. It's
Yeah.
all of these different elements that actually help you with your character development and your improvisational skills.
Who was it? Was it John and Martha? John, Martha. Was it Martha and John? What were the two names? Remember they would do this John,
Oh
Martha.
yeah,
Do that back. Was it John and Martha that was
yeah. Well,
names on?
there's been different elements on there too, where basically that's another game where all you do is use one word, but again, through tone, inflection, body language, it's like Tom, Tom,
Oh, yeah.
Tom. And again, so you can actually see how even from the Santa laugh, the ho 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 aspect,
So,
you can actually practice that to go, ho ho ho, or
all right. Okay. I'm gonna do this a lead in for our dad joke.
all
Right?
right,
Here
you
we
do
go.
that.
So, because my mind's thinking, oh, that would be fun for a couple to try at the dinner
Hmm.
table.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
So there's one's gibberish and the other one's got to respond. Right. And so they're back and forth. And I go, you could practice that improv at the dinner table
Hmm.
while you're eating. You have,
Definitely.
make sure you follow the rules, but you can make yourself laugh. So all of that, I thought I would say that to introduce because tonight's Jad joke is Santa Jerry and Nancy Claus.
Ooh.
How much does Santa's sleigh cost?
Well, nothing. It's on the house.
See, I don't know if it's the jokes that crack me up or is it your facial expressions afterwards? Yeah, because
Improv,
all of
right?
it's so much fun. It is. It is. It is. Yeah.
I just when you said that before with that, I go, oh, this would be fun to see Nancy and Jerry try that. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
so
Oh, that would be fun. I'd use her dog's name though.
the
That would be even
dogs.
funnier. Well, doesn't Jerry have a puppet too? You name Yeti.
Oh yeah, they do have puppets. Yeah, they
So
do.
they, yeah, it'd be kind of fun to have an entire conversation just utilizing the puppets, and the Yeti can't speak English. That would be kind of
And
fun.
he interprets for it. That's a great
Exactly.
idea.
That is, and again, that's another idea you can have if you are into basically puppets or use puppetry in your claws performance. You know, why can't you have the puppet start speaking gibberish and then you translate for it, or an
Right,
elf on the shelf, or anything like that? You could have so much fun. Now,
right.
another element of improv I do want to bring up to you is this: we have all seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? And when most people think of improvisation, they just think of all the jokes. And what ends up happening is to be true to the improvisational mindset, you don't go look for the quick, dirty joke. And when I mean dirty, I don't mean a risque joke. What I mean is you just don't go in directly to a punchline because it really shuts down your partner and you're
Right.
actually stealing the spotlight from your partner. Comedy, laughter comes because you're being truthful. Think of it like this: you have comics out there who do what they call observation comedy.
You're right.
All they do is they look at people and they base their jokes upon people. That's what improv really is being truthful to the scene, and then the laughter will come with it. Now, some of you may be
So how
thinking, just
is there,
reading.
do you have techniques or anything that you do to develop that?
Well, we're going to get done some of those later on.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
uh,
Or before the horse. Sorry.
and the second, in the second half an hour is because the reason that Michael and I wanted to discuss improvisation and why it's important is because there are some different bullet points that Michael came up, which are brilliant, and I want to talk to these.
Well, I mean, one of those, I guess I'll make, throw that out. I see it improv as problem solving skills, which
Hmm.
means I'm doing creative thinking. Um, I mean, so it was one of those constantly working on when I was teaching, I would call it HOTS, higher order thinking skills. right? So I would work on asking questions like, how is Goldilocks' grandmother like yours? Which means that question is not, you're not going to find that in an internet search, right?
Mhm.
So in other words, it's like, all right, I have to know Goldilocks the story, and I've got to have that background knowledge, and I got to have background knowledge of my grandmother, and then I've got to put it together. So I think improv, when we be ourselves with it, and we're constantly working on creativity and working on those problem solving skills. I see it as, so in other words, working on improv not only will help you, I think, your Santa persona and your Mrs. Claus or elf persona, but I think it'll help you whatever you're doing, even, trying to do something, outside of Christmas performing.
There are many
Agree with
companies.
that? Or
Oh no, I totally do. And this is one of the things I've done in my research for this is I've discovered that there are many Fortune 500 companies that bring in improv troops or instructors to do or to illustrate exactly what you're saying.
yeah, because it encourages thinking out of the box. In other words,
It-
if
it-
you're going to do improv or like even the gibberish and making up the language, you
mhm.
got to constantly be thinking out of the box. I can't tell how many times where I've answered a child's comment where going, ooh, I got to write that down. That's a
I-
really good response. Don't forget that one, how.
Right. And again, but that's where the magic comes from is you're not trying to be funny. You're not trying to do anything out of the ordinary. You're just speaking your truth. And that was what works. I mean, I tell the story all the time about the internet and the child asking me, how does the North Pole get the internet? And I told him basically my smart alex tapped into the Aurora Borealis. And guess what? Not only do we get free internet, I get free cable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was
I
plausible. It made
got their
sense.
attention. Free cable. Yeah.
Exactly. But again, and then I explained further that really the lights of the Aurora Borealis are magnetic waves. So really what we're doing is we're harnessing magnetic energy in order to basically translate the television and internet signals
Right.
and amplify them to the North Pole. And all of a sudden this child's eyes were like, wow.
Yeah.
And but I was being truthful. But another thing too, from not only from your Claus performance or your Christmas performer standpoint, it also helps enhance communication skills.
Right.
And this is important because I think when it comes to a lot of Claus performers, what we tend to do, and I've been known to do this myself, is we're already trying to think 2 or 3 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And with improvisation, listening, being in the now are additional guidelines that we must end up following so we can actually react in time. If
Yeah.
we're too busy thinking or trying to force something that we think we want to say to our partner, you're going to cause that scene to crash down. The same thing applies with normal communication when you actually first meet a child or you meet a prospective client and you already want to know, okay, this is my terms, this is what I'm wearing, this is this, and this is this. But
Right.
you're not listening to what your client needs and how you can actually go and respond to your client.
Yeah.
So again, when we talk about improvisation, it is a point of strengthening your communication skills as well.
And I think improv is like an imagination muscle. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I realize the brain or whatever analogies break down, but I'll say it like this, when, back to my running the mile, I was out in shape to run a mile. It didn't mean that I wasn't capable of running a mile, just not at that point. I had the skills to do it, but because I hadn't been practicing it, I you know, I did it, but I threw up. So I think improv is your imagination muscle. You've got to work it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more you work it, not only can you stay in that improv character or the problem solving, the communicating with one another, working as a team and feeding off of it. It takes practice and time, just like running or singing or any of your imagination muscle has to be worked so that way it's in perfect shape for the season.
Well, it's like with anything from a performance, from a physical standpoint, is you have to make sure you take care of your body, your spirit, and with the improvisational skills, you also have to take care of your mind. I
Yeah.
mean, Michael made a point when we talked about storytelling or difficult questions or anything like that. One of the key elements that we also need to look at to employ, especially in difficult situations, is a momentary pause.
Ooh, you can drive a semi through it. I love it. Yeah.
Right. Just sometimes it's better not to just spit out whatever, even though improv is basically unscripted. But there is some, like we keep saying, there are some guidelines to do this. And when we get into some of the exercises you can do solo, then you'll understand what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah.
Improvisation also helps develop confidence and adaptability. One of the things that I've actually learned from talking to other performers is the what is that word? Recitation.
Yes.
I'm trying to use big syllable words, and it's really out of my comfort
No,
zone.
you did really good.
But when we start saying or memorizing "'Twas the night before Christmas," most of us think that we need to do it only in a quiet area so we can concentrate on the words. That's very good to start. But if you're trying to memorize the poem, you want to do it in different environments, different background noises, because what's going to happen? You're going to be in someone's home. You're going to have the children all sitting by your feet as you're in front of the fireplace because that's where they put us all the time. And you're going to start, and then all of a sudden, a baby's going to start to cry. And next thing you know, you forgot your place. By being able to improvise and working on that improvisational muscle or your creativity muscle, it's going to give you the confidence going, you know what? Even if I make a mistake in the poem, it's written about me and the first time I got caught.
Yeah.
I can change anything I want. It also allows you to be adaptable. As Jerry Keel said, who's with us right now, is you have to know your audience as well. And it's wonderful when you do know your audience. But again, when we do talk about improvisation, you never know who's going to be in the audience. You never know what type of heckler you're going to get.
That's true. That's true. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and
Run our commercials.
Some thank you videos, and then
Sure.
we can come back, and then you can give us some exercises and things that we
Sure.
can work on exercising our creativity muscle.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Are you going crazy managing clients, contracts, and invoices? Kringle Tracker is here to help you. Stay organized with ease. Keep your sanity in check with Kringle Tracker's intuitive tools to effectively manage your schedule and clients. Our seamless, customizable contract system allows you to tailor your contracts to you and your clients' needs. Prepare for tax time like a pro by tracking your income and expenses and generate reports to make it a breeze. Transform your Claus business by signing up for a free 20-day trial. Kringle Tracker was created by a Claus for the Claus community so you can focus on making magical memories for your clients. Head over to kringletracker.com and sign up for your free trial today.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, now did you see Bruce Norris comment that he got measured for a pair of kaboots this past weekend?
We've
Kaboots
got to
that
talk to him.
they were at SOS, so you can, if you need anything, reach out to Bruce Norris, and he can tell you how simple it was and the experience
Nice.
itself.
Well, I hope Bruce told him he saw our ad.
Well, at least you saw one of the ads somewhere, right?
One of the TNL network ads. That would be great. That's awesome. So we talked about being a muscle and exercising. So what are some exercises for our creativity?
Oh, okay. So
That
we're
you
going to
can
go.
give us, Michael?
I'm going to go through some of these, and hopefully we can get through them all. Now, just remember, this is actually a piggyback because we've actually talked in depth about improvisation earlier in this season 2. So what we're just trying to do right now is just make sure, because right now we're at Christmas in July, which means
Yep.
we have what, 5 months before Christmas now?
Oh, can you believe? I can't believe it's
I
ours.
know. I
I
know.
mean, it's like it's almost here. You know.
So what we're trying to do at this point is to start getting our wonderful viewers ready for the season and to actually help you start practicing now. So one of the first things that we could talk about is yes and holiday journaling. Now
Ooh.
this basically is, now I'm going to discuss from a beginner, from an intermediate level, or from an advanced level. And from a beginner, just start by responding to simple childlike questions. Do reindeer really fly? And build playful responses. So
Sorry, when I'm just so used to hearing questions, and then my mind just works on responses.
oh yeah.
Yes, but don't give them chocolate because they toot. Right?
Well,
So
and
I
again
got
though,
the ad,
but
right?
but that's one of your playful responses. I just was reading Bob McMaster's. He also got measured. Joey said that he has had great results out of the ad. He asked folks where they found him, and the ads are working. So he's very happy. So
Thank you,
way to
Bob.
go,
That's
TNL
awesome.
Network and all the thing. Okay, now if you're an intermediate or you've been playing or been performing as a Christmas performer for a little while here, use unexpected or tricky questions. Why do some kids not get presents? To help stretch your
Oh,
creative justification. And from an advanced level, answer moral or emotional questions in character. What if I've been naughty but tried to be good? Using nuance and warmth, because what we're trying to accomplish here is when we actually start talking about the different type of characters. If you're a Santa, you want to focus on warmth, wisdom, and reassurance. If you're an elf, then of course being silly and bouncy and try to explain with holiday logic. Just imagine that you've been just eating a bunch of pop rocks and jolt cola, and you want to answer all those questions.
eating a bunch of pop rock. That's
And
so
now if you're Mrs. Claus, then of course you want to be grounded and nurturing responses. If you discuss with my Mrs. Claus, she often tells me that my Santa's only 12 years old. And because that's the way I act most of the time. And I look at my Mrs. Claus as someone who helps keep me grounded. And of course, if you're playing the big green guy, you want to be a little bit sarcastic and reluctant. Yes, and however, you slowly grow in your heart.
right.
So, some of the performance focuses is from a home visit. You want to build responses you might actually use with children. If you're working on a stage, like Michael and I would perform at the lodge, you want to heighten your responses and exaggerate the stakes. Be big, be bold.
Yeah, your hand gestures and everything is just so much grander. It's almost like making sure the people in the back of the room can see what you're doing.
Exactly. And if you're doing work, and I do know Steffi Boyce just joined us as well too for the camera. Always keep your answers tight, expressive, and close and friendly.
You know what? I think of some of the sessions that we've had with Steffi, where all of a sudden we got her so into it, where, oh, wait, I'm supposed to take pictures.
But and this last one here, from a performance focus standpoint, is Michael's really good at this. If you ever watch some of the pictures that he posts, he draws the child or the family in, and just without utilizing any words, it tells a story. You can feel the warmth that Santa's exuding when it comes to talking to a child. And these are the things you have to work on with the yes and. It's not all the time about vocalizing yes and. Your body language, your demeanor, all these things can add into the acceptance and adding on. Now, the next element, too, and again, these exercises which you can work out on your own, whether you're driving in a car, whether you're getting ready to go to bed, or standing in the shower, these are different things that you can think about and you can talk to. I know I cannot sing, so I end up talking through some of these character exercises while in the shower. Yes, my family thinks I'm nuts. Okay.
That happened today. From one of the way, one, you need to have someone to work with.
Right.
I'll throw that out. So it's like it's nice to think that you could be, but you've got to have a team. You've got to get a group of people together, and call up your friends, and make a cognitive choice that I'm going to work on this skill, this muscle. It's kind of like going down to the gym. I hate going to the gym alone,
Mhm.
but if I'm going with my daughter, if I go with somebody else, it makes it a whole lot better.
Well, you make a very good point too. Is often with as many people as we have joining us this evening here, is each and every one of us belong to some type of Christmas performing group. Whether it's Maps up in Michigan, what is it? The Texas Santas that do
Lone
like the
Star, Santa.
Lone Star Santas, Palm Beach Santas. When you get together, Santa True talks about this all the time here is when you have get togethers, it should not just be about just eating and just seeing how everybody's doing. Make it a training session. Work on some of these. Or if you don't want to work on it with a large group of people, find people that are close to you, whether it be on the internet or in person, and work through these things and discuss it. And with the collaboration that occurs, will help you expand upon your characters.
Yeah, that's right. It's better together.
Right. Now
Better together.
the next item I want to go through is North Pole character walks. Now this is for everybody. And then again, from a beginner perspective, focus on basic physical traits like posture, pace, and gesture. For an intermediate level, add emotional states. A joyful elf. A worried Santa. Oh my goodness, the sleigh's not going to get filled. Christmas, I have to leave in a few hours. Or a curious Mrs. Claus. What are you working on, Santa? Is that my Christmas gift?
Yeah, and I do
And-
I do that kind of work in front of a mirror.
Right. And that's
So
the perfect idea.
I can see my expressions and making sure I'm elevating them, moving my eyes. Same way with photography and some of my posings and shoots. I'll literally practice those muscles, right, in a mirror. So that way, when it comes to where I don't have a mirror, I have the muscle memory to be able to go,
Yeah.
and then so I know what it feels like without the mirror, but I need the mirror to help me to get so I know what it feels like. I'm double cheeking that, but that's just that's mirror work for me.
Exactly. And that's very good too. Now, from a Grinch, you always want to mix sarcasm with exaggerated body isolation for comedy.
Yeah. And I'll throw this out too. One of the things that I love teaching and sharing, one of the things that I've learned from the years at the lodge is I'll call it mascot characteristics, posing and body language. It's not all making sure your body language is communicating right along with your words. So it's like, yeah, I'm really happy and excited. I'm just so glad to see you. So it's like the body language isn't there. Hello, oh my, and bringing those gestures and body language, learning some of those mascot techniques. So here I'm throwing that out for one of the things that I like to teach. You know what I mean? But matching nonverbal communication along with it.
Well, many Christmas performers participate in various parades, and you cannot throw your voice. You cannot, without having a large sound system that can actually go ahead and carry your voice, you have to look at different elements within the performance spectrum. Mascots, the people who worked for Disney or any theme park or a theme hotel are awesome to actually have the ability to talk to, because they can emote without having to say a word. They also understand what it is. Like Disney does have a rule about the hug, that
Right.
when a child comes up to a character and wants to hug them, the character cannot break the hug until the child does.
Yes.
So there's different elements that also can be learned from different performers. You just have to find what works best for you.
Cool.
The third game that I want to talk about here before we have to go and doing our trivia and stuff is what's in the sack. Now this is a fun game. This is a fun game because if you're just beginning and you want to just start in this, pull out and describe basic gifts. It doesn't matter what it is. Just describe it.
So you're saying just you're pulling it out and you're doing like this imaginary work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but again, what you want to try to focus on is, mime and facial expressions to help sell the invisible object.
Ooh.
So it could be a simple yo-yo. Well, you bring it out and you're looking at it, then you put the string on your finger, and then you're like, and then you can describe it. It could be a butterfly, it could be a Duncan, it could be a spinner. There are so many different elements. Now, if you're an intermediate, justify the bizarre or odd gifts. A telescope that sees who's singing Christmas carols. So again, what you could do is instead of just working, let's say, on Lego or blocks or a stuffy or anything like a simple gift, what about if the child wants a catapult? Or what happens if the child is like
that's like throwing a catapult. That's like throwing a cat out the window when you're driving. It turns into kitty litter.
It does turn into kitty litter too. As long as it doesn't turn into a boomerang.
Oh my gosh, cat! I mean, my mind's going. You want to? I would my humor like. You want to do what to a cat? They land on their feet,
Now, with this at the same time too is many of us with our photographers, they use the props of a bag, and then
I'm so serious right now. I appreciate that, Michael. All right, so a bag. We're back to the bag.
Well, now, how many of us have actually done photography work where the photographer wants us to look inside of a bag, and there's nothing in there, but afterwards, when you see the editing process, there's the magic light going on, there's a special gift or something that goes along with the photo that happens afterwards.
Yeah, I like to do when I'm doing that. I like to the kid. Can you make a surprise face?
Right.
And then I go, how about like this? Can you make this one? And then I'll do the face for them and then go, can you do that? And then it's like I rehearse it. All right, let's do it together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the photographer gets that picture of the child, So I set that child working on instructing them, can you do that for me? Yeah. So, yeah.
And then the fourth one, and this will be the last one before we go into trivia here, is the holiday monologues. Now, these are just a simple 1-minute solo story. And this is for instance, from a Santa perspective, the year I forgot the cookies.
Oh.
Or from an elf, when I got stuck in the wrapping paper machine.
That's right.
Or from a Mrs. Claus, why I knit mittens for every reindeer. This helps exaggerate expressions and projection, and it also allows you to stay intimate when using the eyes and a natural voice.
I like
from
that.
A home,
practice that.
From a home visit, you can use shorter, more direct storytelling by staying playful and responsive to imagined audiences' reactions.
Nice.
So, all right. So we do have a couple more after this.
Let's give away something.
Let's go give away some stuff here.
So let's do a thank you first, and then we'll do it.
We'll do that.
Or Santa's Closet has been committed to providing unique, high-quality accessories for Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the entire Claus community. Our mission is to deliver exceptional customer service and outstanding value, offering competitive pricing and a wide selection of products designed to enrich the Claus experience.
It's santaclaus.closet.org. Good place. All right. Are you ready, Michael?
I am ready. I was just reading Ken's comment here, but yes, I am ready. Do you want to read the question, or you want me to read the question?
I can read it. It's
All
really
right.
short, simple. You keep your eye close for timing because I have a feeling that someone's going to be able to kick this one right out.
Okay, well, you know what? I am looking at both YouTube and Facebook, so we will see what we could get.
All right, that's secondhand. Here we go. According to English legend, bread baking on Christmas Eve will never what? According to English legend, bread baking on Christmas Eve will never. Wait, I think I stumped them.
Or they're trying
I
to remember
love
how to type.
the smell of homemade bread,
No, Bill, that's not quite right, but that's a good
but
response.
that's a good thought. That's a good guess. Bread baked on Christmas Eve will never.
Singing
Remember?
bells mowing. Oh well, no. I think okay. Hang on, we do have a winner, but I have to check something here because I think he's already won.
Oh, we forgot to do the announcements, but we
That's
could.
okay.
Which will-
No, I think nope. Alan actually just comes in.
Jeff, I saw it.
No, actually, no. Looking at Facebook right there is uh,
You got it.
sleigh bells mowing came in first,
All right.
and he just goes molded. Yeah, that's right.
So yes, it will never bread baked on Christmas Eve. It'll never go moldy. You know why? Because I know in my house it would never go moldy. The smell of homemade bread. Oh my gosh, I love that smell, and it tastes so good that I don't know even if mine will never even go stale. It'll never
Oh,
get. It won't even get close to the moldy place, right?
well, congratulations, sleigh bells mowing. Again, if you'd like to send us your
Here, let me bring it up so we can see it
information,
there.
your name, your address, your t-shirt size to kringlebrothers2@gmail.com,
Yep. So
and we'll
name,
get the
address, and T-shirt size, and we'll forward that to Wade
up, and
and
they will
Scarlett.
send you something from their wonderful, wonderful stores.
So check out their store. They've got some deals, especially now. This is the season, getting ready. I can't believe it's August. We're so close to it. And do us a favor, if you would, please, please, please. Would you please like on Facebook? Would you click on like and follow us, and then click on follow on our YouTube channel also. And that way you'll get posts, and that algorithmy giggy stuff works a little bit better. And we really would appreciate it. And then share that information. If you know someone who hasn't seen the show or would love to watch some of the older videos, you can go to YouTube and watch those. They're all there ready for your viewing, and we'd appreciate the support a lot.
Or you just want to watch two fun-loving people just have a good time and make each other laugh. It's always a great hour to spend with us on the
We
old.
do that to each other. Yes, we do.
Well, you know what time it is now, Michael?
What time?
It's time for your jingle and your Christmas fact.
Oh, I forgot. I do have a Christmas fact. Let me play my music.
There we go.
Wait, I've got to turn my notes. I've got it written down here, and it's a fun fun fact. Here it is. All right. Well, no, that's the question. I got laid on my show notes. All right, here we go. Tinsel. Do you put tinsel on your Christmas tree?
No, I don't.
You don't put any tinsel on Christmas trees?
No, I just want the Christmas spiders to have a clear home.
All right. Well, tinsel was once banned. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. In other words, color tinsel, undoubtedly it came from, where are we at? Tinsel arrived on the scene in Germany in the 1600s, and they were made with real silver.
Wow.
Oh my. I would love to. Can you imagine dressing with strands of silver? No.
Yeah.
Well, on your tree. Oh my gosh, talking about an expensive tree. But
Exactly.
so materials changed and that type of thing, silver would be kind of expensive. So fast forward a few hundred years, the decoration became banned in the United States. It was illegal to have tinsel on your tree in America because guess what? It contained lead. They started making it in different materials, right? So it's lead poisoning, and that whole not good. But tinsel today is made with safe materials, plastic, aluminum. So you can put tinsel on your tree today. But just a little bit of tinsel fact comes from the Germans, and I can't. My mind was when I found that made with real silver.
I know, isn't it amazing?
Yeah, I don't think tinsel was one of those um, common folk thing.
Well, but then again, we start talking about the story of the Christmas spider.
Yep, that's right, and that comes from the German folklore with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And Thomas Sharon says it contained lead when I was a kid.
Oh, Tom, I hope you didn't need any tinsel.
No, he said, don't use it because my cats eat it.
Oh,
Not the lead stuff, the newer stuff.
oh, okay. Well, even that, my mind's going. Even yeah.
All right, just for,
my cats and trees. My daughter has to put like a crib safety thing around her tree so their cat doesn't,
and that's the cat that has no fur anyway.
Yeah, you know what? That cat's so ugly, it's cute.
Oh my goodness, it's a Cabbage Patch Cat.
All right, never mind. That's another whole subject. I love your cat, Lindy. It's my grandchild from you. I appreciate it. I'm a grand kitty cat.
And if Sister Claus has joined us, I haven't seen her, but just in case she watches this later, happy early birthday.
Yes, Sister Claus' birthday is coming up soon.
All right. Well, a few other exercises here in the closing couple of minutes here. I'm going to say these relatively quickly. Is the what if character responses? These are just simply examples by character, different. What's the word I'm looking for? Different scenarios that you can actually stage to help yourself come up with responses. For instance, what if the sleigh broke down in mid-flight for Santa? For an elf, what if a candy cane supply ran out? Mrs. Claus, what if Santa got caught the flu on Christmas Eve? And for a Grinch, what if someone gave the Grinch a puppy? So, but again, you want to practice these answers with real life curveballs from kids because you never know what comes out of a kid's mouth when they actually speak.
Yeah, you gotta be ready.
And another item that you can do too is basically Santa's silent sleigh practice. This is basically miming silently delivering gifts, reacting to imaginary sounds like creaking stairs, snoring dog, curious child. Add facial reactions, near misses, and triumphs, and then narrate it later with a jolly commentary. And yes, the year I nearly stepped on a gingerbread trap.
Yeah.
What this simply allows you to do now is, again, what we're trying to get, and one of our fellow viewers mentioned it earlier that they started to go back to an old theater characteristic that they learned in their years in the theater, and that's miming. We have to remember, improv is not just words. It's facial features, it's our body language, it's the use of our bodies. With this Santa silent sleigh practice, this will help you in your storytelling. Because if you're tiptoeing through the house and you already know how Santa would tiptoe, this would be a visual item that you can employ in your storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So again, when we do talk about improv, just to kind of sum everything all up here is what we want you to do is take the opportunity as of now to help you with your character development. Some of these exercises and practices that we spoke about, you will be able to go into your season with maybe a new perspective on different things. As Michael pointed out, improvisation, just like with all our performing
exercising that creative muscle.
It's all about the muscles, and without it, the muscles will go stale, and therefore you won't be able to use them, and it becomes a little bit harder. If you ever want to have a discussion or you ever want to actually talk or practice or run something by us, and you see Michael and I at the various schools or at the various in-person events, don't be afraid. Come on up, grab us, pull me by the ear if you have to, because I do like to talk. Anybody will tell you that. And we'll have a good time here. So just remember, I'm trying to scroll down here too, is here. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. If you do want to say anything to us or have any great ideas or you just even want to chat, always email us at kringlebrothers2@gmail.com. We would like to say a special thank you to Bob, Scott, Spangle, and Angela.
Yeah.
And to each one of you who joined us this evening. You guys are wonderful as well.
Yeah, and want to encourage you, it's the art of play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's so many benefits to just playing. Go back as a child a little bit, play with blocks, play with things. Not only will it help you associate with those children that you want to talk to, but it literally makes that muscle creative. I love one of the things that my Mrs. Claus at the Grand Rapids Public Museum, the wonderful, spectacular Sandy Garland, she'll tell me, she goes, you guys just really got me out of my shell. I used to be really quiet and stuff. And it was like, oh, Sandy, you're so wonderful. I can't imagine you being, timid and shy kind of thing. So practice that muscle, get with the team, get with that fellowship, make each other better, practice. And the benefit will be the magic with children. It'll be wonderful.
Definitely. And also we want to say a thank you to our contributors, Larry Talbert, Santa Roger Mitten of Kringle Tracker, Wade and Scarlett of Santa's Clauset, and of course our friends at Kaboots. And
our lovely wives.
That's right. A major thank you to both Linda and Stacy. And once again, to each and every one of you, thank you so much.
All right, you ready? We're gonna
try this again and see.
We're gonna do it tonight. Tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night. Okay.
So until we meet again, may all your days be jolly, your hearts be light, and your kindness shine bright.
And may the spirit of Christmas live in you every day of the year. Remember to be good, spread joy, and always believe.
Merry Christmas to all. To all.
A good night.
Well, we got close. Afterglow party.
Everybody keeps saying Sue Redlaw. And what if there was no after show? Then we just keep talking, Sue. That's all it comes right down to it.
This is what if after show? It's the after show party.
And yes, for those that asked, these are the Wonderland hats from Boston Scally. Again, Santa's Closet is a
You can get this hat from Wade and Scarlett.
Yes, you can.
So if you wanted to order this hat, you can order that from them.
Yes, they do. They may have some in stock.
That's awesome.
It is. Well, thank you so much again, everyone. I am so glad that you joined us here. Next week, Michael, who do we have coming next week?
We've got special guests coming next week. We should have probably said that before the end. And so I can't wait. I'll just say he's a doctor with a company, right? But they're not nurses. All right, drop a hint.
And he has a large booming voice that can carry a room.
Yes, he's phenomenal. So is everyone else from that place.
Exactly. Right. So can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you so much. And remember, please follow us, please subscribe, and please share.
All right, blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful Christmas in July.